This day in Philly sports history is proud to be a part of the Clashing Conferences Sports Fan Network, where passionate fans make powerful content. Check out theclashingconferences.com and join the squad today. What's up, everyone? Welcome to This Day in Philly Sports History for October 9th, 2025. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. Welcome to a Thursday edition of the podcast. A Victory Thursday, an Eagles Game Day Thursday. Huge day in Philly sports. But let's start with the Phils. If you stayed up late, like I did, I was up till the final out. You saw them finally get it together, winning 8-2. And that's more like it. You had Schwarbaums, you had Turner getting on, stealing bases, Bryce getting on base, being aggressive on the base paths. That's the way they should play. They weren't trying to necessarily crush the ball. They weren't trying to be heroes. They played within themselves. Bomer had a decent game. JT had a decent game. Even Castellanos had a decent game. And this could be the start of something, but it all starts and ends with that top three. 7 for 13, 2 homers, 5 RBI, and 2 walk. And I got to give a shout out to my man, Topper. I was ready to jump through the TV into LA when I saw him take Nola out, who looked like he was dealing after 8 batters, putting in Ranger, who promptly gives up the first pitch home run to the Dodgers. But he settled in and pitched nicely. The bullpen came through. And I don't know, man. Like that, as much as we rip Rob Thompson for the bunt, as much as we rip him for bringing in David Robertson and this, that, and the other, that was a smart move. I questioned it, but the strategy behind it was Nola sometimes gets in trouble the second time through the lineup. Boom. And Ranger was just absolutely outstanding. It was playoff Ranger. We got a little 8-batter sample size of playoff Nola, but good move by Thompson. Dave Roberts essentially conceded the game when he went and kept Clayton Kershaw in, and that's fine. He was saving his bullpen for today. It's the luxury you have, I guess, when you have a 2-0 lead. Should have been a lot bigger than 8-2, though. I think the Phillies certainly had a lot of missed opportunities that if they're able to take advantage of them today, this series is coming back Saturday night in Philly. But just top to bottom, everybody in this team manned up as well they should have. And that's what this team is. And now that it's 2-1, you kind of figure, all right, go back before the series, figured it was going 5 games. They'd split in Philly, split in LA. This is kind of where we thought we'd be. Just kind of maybe the other way, but I'll take it. And you have your ace, Christopher Sanchez, on the mound today, going up against Tyler Glasnow. But the Phillies got a little bit of something. Hopefully they got the taste of that and work through whatever it was. You got to start somewhere when you're coming out of a slump and the bats are cold. Maybe, just maybe, the past few postseasons, and again, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because we need to focus on tonight, but this ties in with tonight. Past few postseasons, it was the end of series where they kind of went cold and couldn't do anything. They did it at the beginning of the series. Now they started to show some life yesterday. I don't know, maybe, just maybe, they're going to start putting it together. But I feel good about tonight's game, especially with Christopher Sanchez on the mound. You got to jump on them early, get to the bullpen like you did yesterday. I don't know, Casty, if you come back in Game 5, you think that crowd's going to be the wind at your back? I think so. Speaking of that, Jimmy Rollins essentially ripped into that and said, listen, wrong time, wrong place, or whatever he said. And there was a lot of I saw yesterday a lot of things with John Kruk going around saying you're just too soft to play here. He wasn't calling out Castellanos, but just different things he said. Jimmy Rollins saying the same thing. Bryce Harper saying the same thing. He was like, I don't agree with that. I don't know why my teammates would say that. So starting to come together. Like I said, in a short series like this, you have to build upon what you just did. And I'm sure there were a lot of people my age and older saying, save some of those runs for tomorrow. But I think it's a new day. Sanchez is on the mound, and Sanchez looked great in game one. So I fully believe that he's going to come out. He's going to be dealing. It's going to be a good time. Good appetizer for the Eagles. Giants, I kind of wish it was flipped. I wish that Eagles game was 6. But we'll take it. But hey, nothing to complain about with this one. Nothing at all, other than maybe some of the missed opportunities. But you put up 8 runs. I mean, you have to be happy about that. Move on. It's time for game 4 tonight. Let's bring it back to Philly so we can be the wind at this team's back, as Castellanos likes to say. And anyone who stayed up for the game like me, raise your hand if you were a little nervous to see Taijuan Walker out there with an 8-1 lead. I was like, here we go. I'm going to be up till 1:30. They're going to blow this game in extra innings, and here we go. But alas, he only gave up 1 run. But I will take it. I'm very happy. Let's go, Phils. This is going to start a stretch here where no sleep, because I already told you Friday, quick programming note. I think I have it figured out. I got to fight with my wife for shower time, so I might be a little grungy. I might record before my shower, which is the opposite of what I do, but need to be out of the house by the time I normally record on Friday for golf, so it will be out. It'll be out early. Just give me a pitcher of coffee, and I will be fine. Phillies, Dodgers, game 4 tonight. Christopher Sanchez versus Tyler Glasnow. Let's do it. All right, yesterday's trivia question. I asked you who were the top 5 leaders in postseason history for strikeouts for the Phillies. Zach Wheeler and Cole Hamels are tied for first. Steve Carlton at second. Aaron Nola is fourth. And then Ryan Madson rounds out the top 5 for career strikeouts for the Phils. All right, there is an Eagles game tonight. It was reported that Grant Calcaterra and Landon Dickerson are both out. Kind of glad Landon Dickerson is out, to be honest. Let him rest, heal up. I mean, it's going to be tough with that Giants defensive line now, but I don't want to say he was hurting the team. Get healthy, come back, and we'll be fine. Nakobe Dean practiced in full. He is questionable. I like it because it gives Vic Fangio a lot of different options now with Jahad Campbell. Get a little bit of creativity there. The Giants' offensive line is absolutely horrible. You got a rookie quarterback. Vic has always done well against rookie quarterbacks. So I look for him to be pretty creative tonight with that. But it's game day. Not wearing my normal Eagles on game day because the Phillies game is a much bigger game in the grand picture. But Eagles, as of this morning, were 7-point favorites. I love it. I absolutely love it. They need to go in with all the noise. They got lucky because of the Phillies that a lot of the stuff this week sort of went under the radar. It was a short week. Use that to your advantage. I like the Eagles to just blow the doors off the Giants today. Hopefully we'll be able to be in bed by halftime because it's not going to matter. Although this team hasn't put together 2 full halves yet, so you're always going to feel a little uncomfortable until you see it. But the Brotherly Birds breakdown is out. Kyle and I break down the game, recap the end of the Broncos game, and give you our 3 keys to an Eagles victory. A little preview of mine. I think you need to pressure Jackson Dart. Vic Fangio needs to continue his success against rookie quarterbacks. I need to see more balance on offense and just honestly impose your will. This team is a superior team to the Giants on every front with the exception of the offensive line. Go out there and play like it. And it all starts, whether it's the powwow, whether it's balancing the play, whatever. Just go out there and blow the doors off this team. This game shouldn't even be close. And coming in at a close third on this big sports day in Philly, The Flyers open the season tonight down in Florida against the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions. And listen, this is, by all accounts, and everybody from the front office on down said this is the year that they want to start seeing some of these young guys take some steps, like Mishkov, maybe some of the draft picks from the past couple of years come up and contribute to this team. Possibly an outside shot at a playoff spot. I did take the Flyers over for total points. I believe it was 79.5. Forget whether it was 73.5 or 79.5, but I did take the over. But listen, it's fun. Got to get the Flyers going here. Young team. The future is bright. Ready to pick up that mantle for winter sports. And that does leave. We're going to go a little out of order today. Does go to Throwback Thursday, brought to you by Lotwin. Go to lotwin.com to get your 3D custom hype chain. These things are phenomenal. I told you I got the one for my son for his birthday. He loves it. The quality is excellent. So go to lotwin.com, work with the team there to get your custom hype chain, and then use that promo code TCCPOD to take 10% off of your order. But the Flyers do open tonight. Everybody knows this is an Eagles town. It's Red October. Everybody's filled up for the postseason. But there's a small pocket over here of hockey. Philly is also a hockey town. Not one of the original 6 cities, but a hockey town nonetheless, the next 6. And you guys all know from being here, some of you even out there probably are Flyers fans. The Flyers fans are different. And most people are 4 for 4, Eagles, Phillies, Sixers, Flyers, or Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, Sixers, somewhere in there, some combo of that. Flyers fans are Flyers, and then we'll watch the other teams. So it's different, but hockey is fun in Philly. And we've been on some downtimes, and the regular season, but especially playoff hockey, is great. You go back to the Broad Street Bullies, the Legion of Doom, that awesome 2010 run. Danny Briere coming up clutch as a player before he was the general manager. You got JR. And I think hockey is fun. And it's been a long time since hockey has been fun in Philly. You got a new coach. You got a young team with a ton of potential. We're going to get back to those days, whether it's the Bullies, the Legion of Doom, the 2010 Claude Giroux, whatever era of Flyers hockey you like. We're going to get back there very soon. So that's the throwback. Just think back to your favorite Flyers time. Something tells me this is going to be a special era of Flyers hockey coming up. With the Flyers, hockey in particular, it's like it personifies Philly's blue-collar, tough attitude, the hard grittiness that, no pun intended, the grittiness that Philly people have. And the Flyers kind of personifying that. And it's been a while since we've had some fun hockey. So I think this year is going to be fun. Might not end with the playoffs. But this young team is going to be fun to watch. So let's get fired up. Yes, I know it's the third thing in the pecking order today. I know that you're probably going to be possibly maybe checking on your phone if you're not texting or checking Twitter like I was last night. And truthfully, that was just to stay awake. But this team is going to be fun. So let's get fired up. Get ready for hockey to return to Philly, because truthfully, you have the Eagles, the Phillies, Sixers, whatever. Right now, they're out here on their own little island. But there's something about hockey that just personifies that toughness, that grittiness, that blue-collar attitude that Philly has. So let's go, Flyers. Let's go as they kick off the season tonight. And that's Throwback Thursday, brought to you by Lotwin. Go to lotwin.com for your 3D custom hype chain. Use that promo code TCCPOD to take 10% off of your order. All right, there is an Eagles game tonight. Mentioned the Brotherly Birds breakdown. Go check that out anywhere you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube. Had some fun the past few nights on Twitter. Follow me on all my social media at Philly Jimbo, especially on TikTok. TikTok has been on fire, going back and forth with Dodgers fans the past couple nights. So come over, join in. Have fun. Discord channel is live. Hit the first link in the description for that. Follow me on YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jimbo_Mont. Continue to spread the word. Use that, the subscribe, the like, leave a comment, review the podcast anywhere you can. All of that helps us outsmart the algorithm. But it's a big day in Philly sports. And so big, in fact, that this is only the 8th time in Philadelphia sports history that the Eagles, Phillies, and Flyers have played on the same day. Now, for those of you who probably had the same follow-up question I had, and this is all coming from Boop Stats, so shout out to Boop Stats. Always comes through because it's something I was wondering, and he had it right there. But the 4 teams have never played on the same day in Philly sports history. But this is the 8th time these 3 have played. The only time they all won was in 1980, October 19th. All 3 teams won. However, here's a little key stat for you that I like going into tonight. October 12th of 1980. Phillies were playing in the NLCS against the Astros. They won that game in 10 innings. The Eagles were playing the Giants. Eagles win that game. Flyers lose to the Maple Leafs, but bodes well. Eagles, Giants, Phillies in a postseason game, October 12th, 1980. So I'll take that. I don't know what it means. I'm still tired, sleep deprived, whatever you want to have. I only had like a beer or 2 last night, so it's not even like I'm hungover. I'm just extremely tired. I don't know what it means, but it happened. So let's do it again. Want to show off your Philly pride without saying a word? Philly Goat has you covered. From tees, hoodies, shoes, and hats, their gear screams Philly louder than an Eagles fan at the vet. Whether you're tailgating in South Philly or trying to flex down the Jersey Shore, do it in style. Hit up phillygoat.com, use the promo code Jim Montgomery, and get 10% off your order. Philly Goat, because being Philly ain't a choice, it's a way of life. Go Birds! All right, October 9th. We're going to try to get some good vibes here going for both the Phillies and the Eagles tonight. First, let's go back to 1915. Game 2 of the World Series. Phillies lose 2-1. Game was tied in the top of the 9th. Red Sox put a run through, lose it 2-1. But, well, the Phillies were held to 3 hits too, so it wasn't a good. That's not really the good vibes. However, in attendance, 20,000 plus fans that day. One of them at the Baker Bowl was President Woodrow Wilson, who became the first president to attend a World Series game and throw out the first pitch. Hopefully, Trump is nowhere near Dodger Stadium tonight, because apparently the president being in the house in a playoff game does not bode well for the Phils. But that happened on this day in 1915. Fast forward all the way to 1983. Flyers opened the season 3-0 after beating the Penguins 7-1. Tim Kerr and Bill Barber both scored within the first 40 seconds of the game. The goal by Barber was his 400th career goal. He became the 19th player in NHL history to do so. Currently sits atop the Flyers' all-time list, as this was his final season with 420. He would add another power play goal in the second, but it was all Flyers as they beat the Penguins 7-1 to open the season 3-0. Could they shock the world tonight and beat the 2-time defending champs? Stow the good vibes out there. But that does lead to today's trivia question. We already had a similar trivia question, and I told you Bill Barber was the Flyers' all-time leading goal scorer. Who are the top 5 Flyers in career points? Slightly different list there. So that is the trivia question. Hit me up on the Back to the Future voice and text line 267-495-8531. Get that. Anything else Philly sports related off your chest. Give me your Eagles and Phillies predictions for tonight. Where do you see this Flyers team going? Let's have some fun on that Back to the Future voice and text line. Come on. 267-495-8531. All right, let's go to 1994. Eagles beat Washington 21-17 at the Vet. Randall Cunningham threw for 261 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, and 1 in. But it was a Greg Jackson interception of Heath Schuler with 40 seconds left that sealed it for the Birds. They would move 4-1 on the season. Unfortunately, we know how that played out, but I'm telling you, I'm trying to get the positive vibes in here. 1994, Eagles 21-17 division win over Washington. And then 2008, here comes the positive Philly vibes. Chase Utley hit a 2-run homer. Pat Burrell also homered in the 6th inning as the Phillies put up 3 runs. Cole Hamels went 7 innings, struck out 8 to get his second win in the postseason that year. Brad Lidge came on to get his 3rd save as the Phillies beat the Dodgers 3-2 to go up 1-0 in the NLCS. I will take a 3-2 game. It might be a little white knuckling it, but I will take a 3-2 Phillies win with Christopher Sanchez, the ace on the mound, just like Cole Hamels did in 2008. Let's go, Phils. And then finally, keeping the good vibes rolling, top Phillies postseason moments. We're up to number 2, and we're going all the way back to the 1980 World Series. Game 6, Phillies beat the Royals 4-1, and there were so many great moments in this game. Phillies jump out to a 2-0 lead when Mike Schmidt hit a 2-run single in the 3rd. They tacked on runs in the 5th and the 6th. But the greatest moment, and if you've never seen this, Tug McGraw, I don't know whether it was during a banquet or what, told a story of this, but top of the 9th, you had the K9 cops coming out. You had the mounted horse cops coming out. Tug McGraw was spent. You had the Bob Boone dropping the foul pop that Pete Rose caught that really saved the game, because you give Frank White another chance, who knows what happens. And then, of course, striking out Willie Wilson, Mike Schmidt jumps into Tug McGraw's arm. The Phillies win their first World Series championship. But back to the story that Tug McGraw told. I guess they both lived in Delco, and they would ride in together. And Schmidt, depending on his mood, would either make Tug McGraw drive and read the paper, or sometimes Schmitty would drive. But McGraw tells the story that Schmidt used to get mad that Tug McGraw used to always get his photo in the paper, and everything was about Tug McGraw because he was the picture. He was like, no matter what I do, I don't get my picture in the paper, this, that, and the other. He's like, if we win tonight, or he was like, when we win tonight, I'm going to make sure I get in there. So that, I guess, is the backstory. And I'm not doing this story justice at all, because McGraw goes through that whole 9th inning and what was going through his mind when the cops and the horses and dogs were coming out. But Schmidt, that's the story behind Mike Schmidt jumping into Tug McGraw's arms to get his photo in the newspaper. But if you can, look it up. I forget, I've seen it on Twitter, I've seen it on Facebook, but look it up. It's a great story. I'm exhausted. I'm not doing this story any justice. But our number 2 postseason moment in Phillies history, 1980, Game 6, in the World Series for the first time, striking out Willie Wilson. McGraw jumping in the air, Schmidt jumping into it. Let's make some more memories tonight, Phillies. What do you say? Come on now. All right, hop on the Back to the Future voice and text line, 267-495-8531. Text me, leave a voicemail. Eagles, Phillies predictions, Flyers season outlook. If you want to talk Sixers, I don't know why you would on a day like this. You can talk Sixers too. Just saying. Just saying. Let me know the top 5 career Flyers in points. On this day in 2008, Phillies go up 1-0 on the Dodgers in the NLCS behind a 2-run homer by Chase Utley, a solo shot by Pat Burrell, and strong pitching from Cole Hamels and Brad Lidge. 83, the Flyers beat the Penguins 7-1. Bill Barber scores his 400th career goal. 1915, Phillies lose Game 2 of the World Series, but the first time a sitting president had ever attended a World Series game. Woodrow Wilson throws out the first pitch at the Baker Bowl. All right, hopefully we are celebrating, because if I come in and have no sleep tomorrow before going to play golf after 2 losses, I'm not going to be a happy camper. But I don't think we need to worry about that. Eagles win big. Phillies get it done behind Christopher Sanchez. We come back home Saturday for Game 5. You take it one game at a time. That's all you can do. And listen, like they said in Major League, we won a game yesterday. We win one today. That's 2. We win one on Saturday. That's 3 in a row. That's called a winning streak. It's happened before. This has been This Day in Philly Sports History for October 9th, 2025. My name's Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Thursday. Go Phils. Go Birds. Go Flyers. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.